say that, I think it's going to be. I think Kamala will get crushed. I think all Trump's got to do is Tulsi Gabbard on her. Tulsi Gabbard just annihilated her, sticking to policy. And all of these pundits that are saying that Trump is not going to pick up new voters don't know what they're talking about. Trump is going to pick up a lot of new voters.
How did Tulsi Gabbard annihilate her? Let's go back to why you would make a statement like that.
The thing is, she just called her out on a bunch of policies.
Which policy?
She's just a fake.
Which policy?
I don't remember the debate. But all I do remember.
Okay, but hold on.
She was gone the next day.
Okay, so
and then she called her out on policy.
Okay, but hold on, Gabbard. Hold on, Gabbard got less votes than Kamala Harris. That's number one. Number two. Okay. If you're going to tell me that Gabbard annihilated her and you can't name me one reason why, it's hard for me to put a picture of credibility to that, Al, with all due respect.
That's true. Okay, you got a good point.
Okay, so let's move on.
Is that all I can say is all the people who are knowledgeable, that's what they're saying, and I'm following them.
Who are those people, and who are those people that are so knowledgeable that you speak of?
Like Hannity,
So you think Sean Hannity is a credible source of information and he's not biased at all? Are you kidding me?
I think that
has Sean Hannity ever?
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Hannity I think is credible. He sticks to policy.
Oh, really? He does. So Sean. Okay, let's talk about that.
Policy, and that's what we're all doing.
The same guy who talked about Dominion voting machines, the same guy who talks about election integrity, the same guy who said in text messages that Donald Trump was full of crap, but never said anything to the same tune on his radio show or TV show.
What did he say?
About the election being stolen.
Hold on. I'm trying to somewhat support you on a point, which I do support him. When he said that Trump was full of crap, what was he talking about?
The 2020 election. He didn't believe Donald Trump's claims that the 2020 election was stolen. But yet when you see him on TV and radio, he talks about all this alleged election fraud and never criticizes Trump about it at all. That's the guy that you look to for information.
Okay. Well, when people talk about election fraud, they get they get confused about election fraud and what I would call making the laws bent your way to.
No, I don't think it's.
I don't believe. Now, listen, I don't. Well, hold on, let me finish so you understand where I'm at. Okay, I don't believe that there was election fraud. I do believe, though, that the Democrats did change the laws to their favor because of COVID, and they maintained them that way. They could have.
Okay, so Al, here's the thing: if Harris wins, if Harris wins, your guy will not concede, and it won't have anything to do with COVID. It won't have anything to do with. No, it's not. No, it's not fine, Al. How could you be okay with that? If he doesn't win, it's going to have nothing to do with COVID. It's going to have nothing to do with election integrity or Dominion voting machines. The guy who you support will not concede in November if he loses a free and fair election, and I am shocked that doesn't bother people like you. Shocked. Why does that not bother you?
The thing is this. I don't have a plug to his brain. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's going to say. I don't have a crystal ball.
I do.
Okay?
I do. He will not concede.
He can have his reasons, but if he loses, I'm going to tell you, if he loses, it's going to be because of his big mouth. And all the Republicans were calling him out on that. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you something. I live over here by Timbers. And I went and a staunch Republican came up to me and he goes, I'd like to tie some kind of an electric monitor to Trump's crotch just to keep things clean so that every time he gets out of line, I'll shock him.
Yeah.
And that's my message to the Trump campaign.
Well,
you know what? Stick to policy,
what
man.
Makes you, but what,
try to do at least what Tulsi Gabbard did.
What makes you think that in 2024, that all of a sudden at the age of 78, that Donald Trump is going to be able to stick to policy? Delusions of grandeur, my friend. I cannot believe that
That's a possibility. That's a possibility. But you know what? If he really wants to win, he's got to get on the ball. Stick to policy. Now, my message to the Democratic Party, to the Democrats, is that when you compare the Republican track record of communities, of our safety, of our Republican communities to Democrat communities, here in Nevada, it's legal to have 28 grams of fentanyl, which is enough to kill 14,000 people, which the Democrats, Steve Yeager, and our Attorney General put in line in 2019 is outrageous, and they're supposed to be champions for the inner city and minority.
All right, well, if you want to blame Democrats for drug overdoses, why did I never hear you talk about the hundreds of thousands of people that died from drug overdoses when Donald Trump was also president of the United States? What I don't like, Al, are people that talk about addiction and certainly a bad drug problem that we've had in this country for a very long time and use it to score political points. The bottom line here.
Well, but let me tell you something. Here in the state of Nevada, Trump doesn't make the state laws. It was Aaron Ford and Steve Yeager, who are Democrats, who set it to 100 grams. I was just informed it got knocked down to 28 grams, but that's still enough to kill about 14,000 people.
Again,
14,000.
Again,
people.
It goes to
Is Trump responsible for that?
Okay, well, you're the same person that
here in Nevada.
You're the same person that says Joe Biden is responsible for the high gas prices and inflation when it's up all over the world.
Well, let's talk about so forget about the gas. At least you agree on the drug issue, that it's the Democrats that are putting drugs on the street.
No.
Homelessness just got reported here in Clark County that it's gone up by 1,000 over the last time over a year.
You can pick apart any statistic you want and blame Democrats. We also hear lies from the far right that violent crimes were up under Joe Biden, when we also know that's a lie and they are way down. So on one side of the coin, you want to blame Democrats for the drug epidemic we have in this country. But on the other side of things, when it comes to lowering crime and violent crime for whatever reasons, you don't want to give Democrats any credit. But listen, Al, I appreciate.
Well, there's a possibility that some of the violent crime did come down.
It's not a possibility.
Some of the people are saying there's arguments on both sides.
No.
Let me tell you what some of the Republicans are saying.
It's not a possibility.
They're saying violent crimes aren't reported.
Okay, well, guess what? Guess what? They're making an assumption that violent crime isn't reported when there's actually no evidence to back that up, and that is another right-wing talking point. You see, when I give you statistics that benefit Democrats in the Biden administration, you make excuses and say, well, they're not reporting all the crimes. But then when you make up a stat that I've never seen before in the state of Nevada, somehow blaming Democrats for every drug overdose in this state, those stats might be true. And you claim they are. But then when I give you a stat that benefits the Biden administration, you have your right-wing talking points, Al. I appreciate the phone call, but it is ridiculous. And I think of the many ridiculous things you said in that phone call, you give an ounce of credibility to Sean Hannity. That's your source of information? Wow. 702-221-7283. And again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation.